SFO Airport Museum has this new exhibit on the history of United Airlines, which looks amazing. And I wish I had time to spend an hour or two just looking at all these exhibits, but I do not have the luxury of such time. It is 8:43, and the last United 747 flight departs at 11 o'clock in 2 hours. To the gate and see if the festivities have started yet. I'll have to check out all these. I did a test on this. There's a picture of the 747-100. That's the 747 SP, the second version. United had the 747-100 was the first version, and then the 747 SP, which was a little smaller and had a longer range. And then in 1989, the same year, Mom started working for United. The signal's kind of coming in and out here. The first time, what was I saying? Sorry. The 747-400 came out in 1989, which was the year Mom started working for United. And after 47 years of service, the final flight is today, recreating the original flight from July 1970. Oh, look, she's stealing all the balloons. I was going to take them all. You beat me to it. She was stealing them at my order. Okay. There doesn't seem to be a way to take a picture. Mike, you know I want to take all these balloons. If I were a little girl, I could have gotten away with it, probably. But okay, so now into the Gate 80 corridor. I did a test of the SFO Wi-Fi network last night, and it was amazingly fast. So hopefully the signal will be strong enough to keep this video going for a while. It is an absolutely beautiful day here in San Francisco, by the way. I don't think you could ask for a much nicer day to fly. 200. And that's the giant tail of the 747 sticking out in the distance. So I went by Gate 86 last night and I saw them setting up for all the festivities. So let's check out the screen here. And here we go. Honolulu, 11 a.m., flight 747, Gate 86 on time. Oh, there's a Dreamliner taxiing by here. I don't imagine that you can zoom on this thing. No. Well, my goal is to make it to the gate by 9. It's 8:48, so I'm actually going to be ahead of the plan for once in my life. So I left Washington Dulles yesterday to fly here with the expectation that I was just going to come for flight attendants or agents dressed in the retro uniforms. Is this the retro 747 uniform? Oh, you all look so pretty.
Are you going there?
Yes. So when I left DC yesterday afternoon, the station was just that I was going to come here for the party. But then when I was on the flight last night, saw that 27 customers had canceled their reservations. United is not allowing any pass riders to stand by for this flight because it was sold out, and the company wasn't expecting there to be anybody canceling for this extremely momentous occasion. But lo and behold, there have now been 31 cancellations. So there's the bird there. So they weren't reselling any of the canceled tickets last night, but I booked a ticket for only $213 on the 4:25 p.m. or something flight from San Francisco to Honolulu. And then when I checked in for that flight, I put in a request to move to standby for this flight. And then as we were about to land here last night, about 7:30 p.m., I saw a message on my reservation that my request had been confirmed and that I needed to contact United Reservations to have my ticket reissued. So once I got on the ground here, I called. It took about 15 minutes for the agent on the phone and some help from a support desk to figure out how to override the system and issue me a seat assignment, but it worked. And lo and behold, here I am with a boarding pass for the flight. So I think they may be restricting entry to the gate area only to people who have boarding passes. There's all this these barricades up here, and lots of TV cameras. Hopefully none of the formal ceremonies have started quite yet. It's not even 9 yet, so we're still 2 hours and 8 minutes until departure. Oh, I think they're giving people like a special ticket envelope or something here. I already have a boarding pass, but I should go check in again so I can get an envelope. Let's go over here and get a nice view of the Queen. Oh my gosh, she's right there. can't miss her.
Plane's coming out good.
Thank you so much. Yeah, that's all right. Appreciate it.
So I'll go ahead and take care of
That was
that.
kind of good. Thank you
That's
so
what I'm
much.
thinking now. I think the stream was too much for me today, and that
So it is aircraft number 8418, which I think is N118UA tail number. So all but 2 of the United 747s have been flown away to the desert. There's an airport at Victorville, California, which I think is in San Bernardino County, where there's a facility that retired planes are taken for disassembly and recycling. There's a helicopter landing over there. Unfortunately, the plane is kind of at the end of the concourse here, so there's not really a perfect side view of it anywhere, except, well, no, not even from here. No, still the nose, but that's a great straight-on view. Yeah, no view at all of the right side. Okay, well, let's go back to the party. I'm gonna go get checked in at the podium and get the souvenir ticket wallet. Oh, I guess you don't even have to have a boarding. I don't know who wouldn't have checked in by now, but let's go take care of that. Hi, I'm checked in online, but was hoping to get an actual paper boarding pass. Some retro themed ticket wallets here. Thank you. Do I get one of those as well?
You'll get it on board the
Oh, okay, sweet. Thank you. All right, there we go. I can't believe it. I had no idea when I flew out for this party yesterday that I was actually going to be able to get a seat. Oh, he gave me 2 copies. Wow, so nice. I guess he knows I must be a super airplane geek that I want multiple copies. Yes, Mike, here's some 1970s attire. My friend was just asking, is anyone dressed in 70s attire? Yeah, looks great. Yeah. There is some security guard stationed there, 2 of them, I guess, so I'm guessing you probably have to have a boarding pass to actually get into the zone here, so it's a good thing that I do, because I would be really sad if I were here and having to stand outside the barricade the whole time. So we've got some, here you go, Mike. Here's some more 70s attire for you. Picture taken with the
Hi, everybody.
vintage upper deck.
Hi,
Oh,
everybody. Welcome
let me get
to
started
the
here.
biggest, best throwback farewell 747 party ever to ever be held. Give yourselves a huge round of applause for being here this morning at Gate 86. We turned Gate 86 into 1970. I'm feeling the 70 vibe on everybody. I mean, the details that have gone into this event are humongous. As
It
you
is
all
9
know.
o'clock
The details
now.
that you brought to the event are even more so. So thank you so much for dressing in the period and going out to your vintage stores and coming and bringing that 70s feel here today. We really appreciate it. I just love that I have like backup, I don't know, backup people, backup dancers, backup people. Backup flight attendants, exactly. I'm slowly turning into an AV geek, which I love. That's the term you all use, right? Give it up.
We say AV geek, not AV geek.
Okay, so we're paying homage to
Oh my goodness.
just revolutionized air travel, and clearly this 747 has a huge, huge fan base, because all of you immediately, when you saw that you had an opportunity to get on board, you did it. And no matter how you did it, whether you used points, whether you used a story, whatever it was, whether you're a revenue customer, whatever it is, you wanted to be here today, and I could feel that connection right here. The 747 is all about connection, right? It connected the world. It connected all of us to, across oceans, across continents, and that is why we're here today. So I just want to take a moment to say, if you're here with someone that you're traveling with, that you're connecting with, that's really the story right now. So take a moment to turn to that person or find that person later and make sure that you share your own 747 story with them today, because that's what it's all about today at United, at Gate 86, and soon to Honolulu is about connection. So thank you. Give yourselves a round of applause for that. And it's emotional. It's very emotional. There's generations of stories here. I saw Mike and Frank. I don't know if you're here or if I can find you in the Chicago gate. They were coming. They were like welling up, talking to me about how excited they were to get these tickets. I met Jill, who's been a flight attendant for 28 years. She said she feels like she got the golden ticket, the Willy Wonka ticket. I just met Nathan, who's a banker who calls himself an AVP. Thank you, Nathan. Your excitement made me so happy and excited to be here. So this is very personal, and it's hard to say goodbye. I think this quote really said it all. I read it in Hemisphere magazine on my way here from pilot John Russell. He said, "Imagine the greatest athlete in a given sport retires, and you'll never see anyone like that again." That's how this feels. Do you feel that way? Yes, I'm feeling that way. So obviously the 747 changed, was a game changer for aviation, and this is why we're all here to send her off. So how cool is it that United is recreating the very first flight that flew, the 747 from SFO. I'm so like AV tech right now, from SFO to HNL, and so today we get to recreate that moment as well. So how lucky are we that we're all here for that? This is the premier. This is one of the premier routes that the 747 flew to Honolulu, but it flew to Asia and it flew to Europe, and that is the coolest thing about this airplane, because not only is this airplane beautiful, but it allows open up air travel and allows people to really get out and see the world and have this global connection. So as we're all here today enjoying this moment, I know so many people have done so already, but take time to take pictures of all these incredible backdrops that we're creating here today. Take a look at the timeline. Very cool. And on the timeline it says that in 1975, the 747 flew its 100 million passengers. Can you imagine how many passengers 42 years later that have graced the jetway up to the 747? It's pretty cool. So take a chance to take your pictures, please, we ask that you use the hashtag UA747 farewell so that we can get that hashtag trending and get everybody watching all the excitement that we're having here today. Post on Instagram, on Twitter, tag United, and use that hashtag UA747 farewell. I really encourage you guys to continue this connection. Tell your stories. I've heard so many already. Someone already told me that he's only told the short story, so on the plane I get to hear the long story. So I'm very excited about that. I know, how many of you have slept? Nobody, right?
About 4 hours.
We've got the 747 farewell party here today. The flight is going to be so exciting. We can't wait to board. We're going to be boarding at 10:19. But before that, I'm going to come back and give you an introduction to some very special people who are here today that you're all going to want to hear from. So this crowd is pretty awesome. It's deep, it's big, it's excited, and I'm thrilled to be your MC. I'm Sally Lou Loveman. I'll be on the plane. I'll be back in a little bit. Stop me and tell me your stories. We'd love to hear more. Thank you so much, everybody. Go get some cake.
9 customers on the standby list right now.
So have some cake. The calories don't count today. Hey, we're just going to Honolulu, right? You know, no big deal. We're just going to Honolulu. And most of you are going for the night and turning around because that's the cool thing to do, right?
Nope, just for the afternoon.
You don't go to Honolulu for a week, you go for a night. All right, everybody, thank you so much. Welcome to the 747 farewell. Fabulous throwback party. Enjoy yourself, and we'll be back in a little bit. Thank you so much.
All right, time for me to get inside the barricade. Whew, sweaty.
I think people are trying to get on this plane like it's pretty interesting.
Well, oddly, there's been 31 people who have canceled in the last 24 hours. I just got my seat last night.
Wow, that's good. We're so full of we couldn't. There's only one class, steerage. Now what happens if they overbook this flight?
It's not overbooked. It was sold out as of yesterday morning, and then since then there's been 31 people who have canceled.
This may be the new trend, bringing United back to the public's good graces. Next thing they'll do is make the seats wider. You having a good time yet? Huh? You having a good time yet?
I know, I did my welcome. I had Sally up on stage. I got 25 minutes and then half an hour and then
You on the plane?
I asked him, I'm like, you sure you don't need to go on Honolulu?
Well, he just said 31 people.
They've had 31 people cancel in the last 24 hours. I just got my seat last night, and
that's awesome, man.
there's still like 20 left, I think.
Listen. Me too.
All right, let's get into the party here. Excuse me. Oh, I love this shirt. Hey. There's a retro nice 70s shirt for you. My friend was just asking, I want to see some of the cool vintage shirts.
I've been doing all the farewells.
Number 103.
So you travel a lot. Have you always been aviation?
Wow, look at that vintage United backpack. Here's some of the 747 amenity tins that are being given out on international United Polaris First Class and United Polaris Business Class flights this month, and I think through the rest of the year. I got 3 of those tins on my 747 Global Farewell Tour last week to London, Beijing, and Seoul, South Korea. I wonder how many people like me will have been on the last international flight and the final domestic flight. Here's the 747 timeline.
Sometimes it's like straight line, like around
And I think these are like replicas of the upper deck first class lounge from the original 747 100s. Hey Mike, do you like this purple flower retro shirt?
Thank you guys. Oh, I think I was
Here's our retro flight crew.
Yeah, unfortunately, I'm just a little part.
And here's the 747 timeline starting in April 1966 when Boeing announced it would build the 747. Made its first flight on February 9th, 1969. First test flight, first passenger flight with Pan Am from New York to London, January 21st, 1970. Continental Airlines had its first Boeing 747 flight June 26th, 1970. The same day, incidentally, that United received its first 747 100. And then less than a month after Continental, United made its first Boeing 747 commercial flight from, guess what, San Francisco to Honolulu. That's right, Mike. Purple is definitely my favorite color. But I've got on United Blue today. So 47 years the 747 has been in service for United. Here's the original livery. And then the final livery here with the post-Continental merger globe. Some retro photos of first class. There's the famous United Tulip logo, which reigned for decades until the 2010 merger with Continental. There's someone sitting on a horse, riding like a carousel horse inside a 747 engine. I'm guessing that's the christening of the first United 747, splashing champagne onto the side. So where were we in the timeline? Kind of jump ahead to 1985. United announces its plan to acquire Pan Am Pacific routes, as well as 11 of the Boeing 747 SP planes that feature a 48-foot shorter body and fly higher, faster, and farther than the original 747-100. And then September 18th, 1989, which was only 2 months and 2 days before Mom started working for United, the airline launched its first Boeing 747-400 with a trip from LA to Sydney, Australia. 1990, 747-200s were delivered to the Air Force to serve as Air Force One, and after 27 years of service, the Air Force has ordered some of the current model, the 747-8 from Boeing, to serve as the new Air Force Ones. Boeing delivered the 1,500 747 in 2014, the first wide-body plane in history to reach 1,500 production units. And then the sad day of January 11th, 2017, when United announces it will retire the 747-400 fleet in the fourth quarter of 2017. And then last week, I think that date is wrong, was October 29th, actually. Whoops, typo. I was on the final international flight from Seoul to San Francisco. And now today, United is celebrating the retirement of the Boeing 747 with a fitting full circle moment. A special retro event sees the aircraft flying from San Francisco to Honolulu, a nod to its first ever flight back in 1970. This is the 6-minute special United 747 retirement video that I posted on my Facebook page a couple weeks ago, and you can find that somewhere on United.com. Just watch that for a minute or two here. Wow, look at those colors.
Until last year, but regularly.
Here's the official 747 cake. I've got to take a break here. I'm sweating like crazy, and I want to get in line to get my picture with the crew here, so we will return later.